working with young people just makes things different because I feed off energy. I sold my house in London. He tore me apart, but I never made that mistake again. But there's quite a bit of brain power that goes into this. It's a secret sauce, right? I don't read any CVs, focus on customer experience. I think the most valuable lesson that I learned was actually don't do it on your own. Find a good partner. I think it's almost a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde. So, when I shouldn't claim everything for myself because, a lot of the success that we've had is down to me and my partner.
Right.
And I'm always grateful for starting the business with a partner. I think that's really important. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that was probably one of the most important factors around
interesting.
success.
You have a good relationship with him?
Yeah. I mean, we were friends.
Okay.
Before. I haven't told you the story of Bounce, right? How it all started and
no.
Have I told you?
It's good to tell me.
Yeah.
And like, even if you were friends, at some point, like, how did you do it? Like, because at some point, it might be like, let me take the lead, man, because I'm better. And the other person will be like, no, man, like.
It's funny. It's never really been like that.
No, good.
Yeah, no. I think when I think about the starting point of our relationship, we knew each other socially. We both arrived in Dubai around the same time. He's got 2 girls at the same age as my kids as well. So, we just knew each other socially because, nationalities tend to gravitate towards each other, I think, in this part of the world. And then, one day over my house at a barbecue, and there are going to be some people watching this, their eyes are going to roll because they've heard this story many times.
Yeah.
One day at my house over a barbecue, he takes his phone out of his pocket and shows me a video of Bounce, this Australian brand.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to do this. Do you want to do it with me? And that's what started it. It was as simple as that, And I thought, yeah, that looks amazing because I feed off energy.
Yeah.
I like it. And when I saw just young people having fun, amazing tricks, flips, kind of just acrobatic stuff happening on this video, I thought, yeah, I could really get excited by this. Well, this is great. This is great. Then there's a reality that hits, into okay, what do you do next? But that's where I'm thankful for having a business partner, because you can run ideas off each other, and if someone's having a bad day, then the other one can pick you up, and it's quite lonely when you're kind of running a business, but having a partner there that's you kind of backstop, helping hand makes a big difference,
right?
Especially when you deal with some pretty seismic challenges. But the relationship with Ross started off as socially a friend,
right?
And then it kind of goes into this space where your relationship morphs into business. You talk about business, right? You become a business partner. Ross moved back to Australia back in 2018, I think it was now. It comes over now and again, but I kind of describe our relationship now as almost like family. He's like a brother to me.
Nice, man. Now. Good for you.
So, we still speak regularly. Every Friday we have a catch-up call. He's got his own business interests now in Australia, and we're able to balance that kind of conversation between business and family because we're good friends and we always will be. I think it's just fantastic, and I think over the years, and I think this is actually quite unusual, I can't think of a time where we've had any kind of fallout. I think we're quite similar characters in that way. We complement each other in that way. So I can't think of any one time where we've had any kind of fallout because there's a lot of mutual respect between us. We respect each other's opinions, but we share similar values.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just very lucky.
You are lucky
in that sense.
100% yes. Yeah. Because I tell people as well, like, hey, be very careful because I've done, few gigs with different people and you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Whether it's a life partner, whether it's a business partner, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I tell people who are getting married, listen, if you divorce, would that person let you see the kids? Are you going to have issues? with that person, with their parents.
Yeah.
Like, what's that relationship going to be? And the same with business. If you want to partner with a business person, are these people the right people to partner with long term? What would happen if you had an argument, a fight?
Yeah.
Would your business fall? So
Yeah.
you're lucky. Yes, you're lucky. And probably, you had enough knowledge. You're bright enough to see that this would work long time. And not many people see it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, neither of us are kind of that emotional kind of tin box. We don't explode. We're quite considered. We're quite calm. We can deal with stuff. But I think what really helped when we started the business was that we had multi-years of experience behind us. In the corporate world.
How old were you?
I was. Oh, geez, was I 30, 37?
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. So I'd been around a bit. I'd worked in various businesses in the mobile phone industry, worked for a few startups along the way. So I kind of got the environment. I knew what I was getting into. And Ross the same, and both of our backgrounds were complementary. Ross was coming from a space of finance, accounting, audit, HR. That was alien to me. I was more in the kind of operational sales and marketing space. So that actually worked quite well. But you're right in the partner side. I think if I was to offer anyone advice on starting up on their own, I think the most valuable lesson that I learned was actually don't do it on your own. Find a good partner.
Interesting.
So you have to be so careful with the partner to pick. Even though we were friends, we still had contracts in place and things like that. You have the formalities there because it sets boundaries, and that's important. But yeah, no, we've also made some missteps in our journey with partners as well, where we've had really terrible partnerships that we've had to kind of exit. So that's a different story. So it's
be
don't
careful.
have the secret sauce, right?
Yeah, no. And we're figuring it out, right? It's the first time you do it, first time I do it. It's not like we've done it 1,000 times. We're like, okay, this is it. Now you know how to do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it's a good ride. It's a good ride. Yeah.
Good for you. And why a freestyle playground, man? Like, it came the idea, and then you were at some point like, hey, should I do this or should I do a million other things, right?
Well, I had a choice, right? I was pretty comfortable in my career. I'd been in the mobile phone business for 12, 13 years, however long it was. I was pretty comfortable. I was getting up in the morning. I was putting a suit on and getting to the office. I wasn't particularly challenged in what I was doing. To be honest, I felt like I was coasting along, really. Had the opportunity to move to Dubai with a family, new life experience, all great. But I'd always been interested in kind of startup businesses because I had worked for a couple of startups along the way as well. And I said I was an energy guy. I really get a lot of energy from working in a startup. And the first startup that I worked in was in a city called Birmingham, which is not the most glamorous city in the UK.
It's true that you said a city called Birmingham, because people don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'd never really go there. I mean, this was the first mobile phone manufacturer to set up in the UK. The offices were in a car park in the back of Carrefour, the supermarket, central Birmingham, which you can imagine, right? But I got a job there. I think I was just right time, right place, frankly. But my first day at the office was heading to Heathrow Airport and getting on a plane to China to try and sort out some production problems for, I think it was phone chargers. I mean, I was 22 years old at the time. I had no idea what I was doing. But that sink or swim approach, I think it really formed me. In the sense that, okay, I may not know the answer now to this problem, but I back myself to figure it out. Now, whether I can figure it out or whether I can draw on someone else to figure it out, I kind of back myself to figure it out. And I remember the CEO in that business. He was a tough, he was hardcore. And I remember another formative moment was going into a meeting with him. His name was Hugh Brogan. and he had a reputation for being a tough taskmaster. And I went into a meeting to give an update on various products. I was kind of project managing, and I just didn't have. I wasn't prepared. It was my fault completely. I know. He tore me apart. I left that meeting thinking, that's it. I've really screwed up here. It made me feel absolutely awful. I was down. But I never made that mistake again.
Yeah.
Never made that mistake again. That taught me a valuable lesson. So that whole startup environment for me was really, really, really formative. So when it came to, starting up Bounce, having a good partner with Ross, or having a easy, comfortable, easy, right, but a comfortable life in the mobile phone industry, it was a quick decision.
Right.
It was a yes. But do you know what Bounce reminded me of?
What? Of that guy?
It was definitely not.
How?
Definitely not. That was an example of where I didn't want to be or where I couldn't be. I'm not that type of guy. I think you've got to be who you are. But just working in a business that was full of energy, full of young people, full of movement, full of dynamism. It reminded me of a job that I had in my hometown in Swansea in an ice cream shop called Joe's Ice Cream Parlour. The best ice cream in South Wales, by the way. It reminded me of that because that was all about working with young people. And for me, it wasn't about picking up a paycheck. It was more about a social experience. I was hanging out with people I liked. We had a laugh. But working with young people just makes things different. You just get energized by that. And that's what I saw in Bounce. And that's what really kind of interested me at first with it. Yeah.
And you had to put a lot of money on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sold my house in London.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say I sold my house. I sold our house.
Right.
House in London to put the money into it.
Right. A bigger decision.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have any investors behind us.
Right.
Right. So, it was all our own cash, all our own money. And I think that was also important because that really does focus you. And there are a few occasions where we thought we were going to zero out and that was it.
Right.
But yeah, it was a big gamble, to do that. But, thankfully,
yeah, man,
it turned out pretty well. I sometimes have to pinch myself to think back to those times. Really, it's amazing. Yeah.
Good for you, man. And for him. And for you.
It's good fun.
And for your kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How many years ago was that?
The journey started in 2013.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, basically 12, what are we, 25 now, 26?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
12 years.
It's been a while, yeah. Yeah, and I think there's been a bit of a blip within that kind of 12-year journey with COVID, right? I felt like we were kind of treading water a little bit within those times. But yeah, I mean, it's been a great ride. We're across the GCC now. We've got
how many locations?
13 venues.
Amazing.
We're opening a 14th in a couple of weeks' time.
Unreal.
We're going to start in a build in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, in the next 3 weeks or so. Got another build happening Q1 next year. It's going well. Yeah. It's really going well. Yeah.
Do you share your revenues publicly or not?
No.
No. Okay.
No, we don't. No.
Because if you were,
we don't.
No, because if you were part of, if you were in the States, for example, you would.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know why I don't really. I mean, I think probably because I just don't really talk about success in those terms. Really.
No, but I mean, it's a number that people will be like, really? You're a 9-figure business, you're an 8-figure business, you're 7. It's
yeah, we're a valuable business. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
what's the value now of Bounce?
Whatever
how much is
willing to pay, right?
Right.
But I'll give you some headlines. 13 venues across the region. All of them are highly profitable. We'll bring in probably 1.3, 1.4 million people through our doors this year. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic business, and I can't claim all of that success myself. There's a and some of the team, right, behind the scenes. There's quite a bit of brain power that goes into this.
Absolutely.
It's doing entertainment is not easy. You've got to keep relevant. You've got to keep connecting with your customers. You've got to keep front of mind with your customers. Yeah, it's an always on
And
thing.
huge competition, you're competitive.
Nah, it's getting more, right?
Right, getting more, and these guys, they're
More people
investing.
coming on, bring them on.
Right.
It's my view.
Yeah.
It makes us get better. But
Of
yeah, certainly over the last kind of 3 or 4 years, there's definitely been a lot of people come into the market. Yeah,
Right.
it's interesting to see. Yeah.
But ours is the largest, right?
Yeah, we're the biggest. Yeah. We're the OG.
Yeah.
We are we're the trailblazers. Yeah, no, I think when we opened the doors back in 2014, the customers came flooding in, and thankfully we're still generating really good customer satisfaction. We generate a lot of footfall. We're changing a lot of people's lives to the positive. That's what gets me excited.
Of course, but
reviews on Google or on our NPS. Yeah. When customers call out specific.
What's your NPS score now?
Year to date, 64.
Ooh.
Do you know how much Disney is?
How much?
38.
Wow.
So we're better than Disney.
Wow.
Because sometimes when you say 64, people
you're
think,
like,
that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah.
But the NPS calculation is a really tough calculation. And then when you put it in the context of Disney,
right,
which my COO, Alan, talks about being the self-proclaimed happiest place on earth.
Exactly.
At 38, it kind of makes you think, yeah, we're doing something. We're doing something right here.
Yeah.
We're doing something right here, which I'm really proud of. And then when I looked, we've got a venue in Dalma Mall, and I was looking at some of our kind of repeat rates, and I hope this lady won't mind me quoting her name, but there's a lady called Lobna who comes to our mini bounce venue in Dalma Mall. And I may get the number a little bit wrong here, might be a bit inaccurate here, but last year she came to our mini bounce in Dalma Mall. I think it was about 150 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't go somewhere 150 times. No, so if you're not enjoying it, right?
Unless you're going to the bar.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, or spinnies or something like that.
Spinnies,
yeah. Yeah, so it's that type of thing where I think, okay, it's the pinch yourself moment.
Well,
okay, we're doing the right thing. We've got the right formula. Focus on customer experience. Hire the right people to do that. It's generating the right result.
Old stuff, man. And was there a time where you thought it would not work? Because you mentioned it. Like, how many times you've gone through this, and what kept you going?
There's probably two key points in the journey. One was early on, one was a bit later.
Okay.
But the first one, I still remember it very vividly today. We had just signed a 10-year lease on our venue in Alcoz. Back in those days, you were writing checks for 10 years worth of lease payments, right? That is serious stuff. Yeah. You're talking, I'll tell you, 25 million dirhams worth of liability you're putting on yourself there.
Oh.
That gets you focused. But we just signed the lease, and we just completed the design on the venue, and you design the venue, and you kind of muddle your way through it. You kind of figure it out. You ask advice. You draw in some expertise, and then it comes down to building it, which is another kettle of fish. It can be a pretty cutthroat environment, working with contractors, doing fit outs and things like that. So we just signed a lease. We were committed to 10 years on this property in Alcoz. All the checks handed over, and we started to get quotes in from contractors to build the venue, none of which we could afford. We didn't have enough money. We were using our own cash. Like I said, no investors, and you can't get bank financing, right? You just if you're a new business, it's good luck in terms of getting a line from the bank. It just doesn't exist over here. And it dawned on us, we were over in Dragon Mart. I can't remember why we were over in Dragon Mart, but we used to spend a bit of time over there just buying stuff for venue or whatever it was. And I remember, that kind of food court area at the back end of Dragon Mart upstairs by the lighting area. We're both sitting there looking through these contractor quotes. I remember one was 16 million dirhams.
Wow.
We had 12 million dirhams. I think we even had one that was more than that. And I was just thinking, Ross, we ain't got the money for this. He's thinking, I know.
Yeah.
But it was quite formative in the sense it kind of dawned on us that actually we're committed now. And we've got no choice. There's no option other than figure this out. And the fact that that's where the importance of having a business partner comes into play, because you can naturally challenge each other to do things that you don't think are actually possible. And taking the bull by the horns. And in the end, we managed to get the fit out costs and the contractor costs down to a level where we could actually afford it. We made some compromises on design, and we got a bit aggressive with some of the contractors as well. But that was the first point where I remember seeing all of the quotes coming through, thinking, okay, that's it. We're going home now. But yeah, no, we figured that out, thankfully, and then it's not so much of a concern now for us. But and then the second time was during COVID. I always remember that time, March 2020. Every single venue in the region shut down within the space of 6 days.
Same thing. We lost 60% of our clients in 10 days, man.
It was just, there was a lot of learnings from that time as well. But we had just completed the fit out of our venue in Dubai Festival City, the biggest venue in the region. So you can imagine the cost that's gone into that. We had hired everyone, so we're fully loaded in terms of costs. We'd just had our launch kind of event as well, which we had to pare down because of, we knew COVID was coming in. So we had this scenario of a lot of operating venues all closing down. The bank account was pretty empty because we had just spent all of our money on fitting out our kind of Bounce X venue there. But we managed to get through that because there was always a backstop anyway. As shareholders, we could provide some more funding into the business. But I think the way I kind of chose to handle that was, okay, we don't know how long this situation is going to carry on for, so we have to be ultra conservative in terms of how we manage our outgoings. And the first priority is taking care of the team. All right. Everyone went down to, half salaries so we could conserve as same cash as we could. We didn't pay a bill to anyone. Dog eat dog, right?
Yeah.
It's survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest there. And keeping the team together and prioritizing the team, I think, gave us the platform. So when we did reopen, we opened strong, but it was tight. It was really tight. That was kind of touch and go as well. And I think those types of experiences make you quite resilient. So there's not a lot that phases me anymore.
No.
In business, even though I see the best of people, the worst of people, not a lot phases me anymore. I kind of feel quite confident I can deal with most things. Yeah.
And what does success mean to you today? Does it still? Yeah, because you just mentioned it a little bit. It's not about the numbers anymore.
No, not so much really. No, I look. I take a lot of motivation when I get into the office in the morning. I have a TV screen in the office that has our live customer satisfaction scores, net promoter scores, and I like seeing that. Because that tells me that we're doing something right. So customer satisfaction is one thing. I get really inspired by stories of people in the business as well, where they've come from, how they've progressed through the business. I can tell you any number of stories how people have progressed through the business. So I'll maybe tell you one of them. There's a guy called Henry, who's now our venue manager of the Marina Mall venue in Abu Dhabi. Amazing guy, Cameroonian fella, cool dude. I've known Henry since 2016. He's been with us on the journey. He showed up for our casting call, our interview for our Al Ain venue back in 2016. I'm pretty sure he turned up not knowing what the job was, really. But he struck me as being just a cool kid, nice kid, calm. He had shoelaces that are really funky. He's really into his fashion. He's just a very funky guy. And, you know, it was a no-brainer to hire Henry because we hire people for personalities, right?
Yeah.
We're in the experiential business. We hire people for personalities. So hired Henry, great guy. And we opened the LA venue, and we had our launch party. We always had a formula. We have a launch party on a Thursday night, then we opened for business on the Friday, because at that point, Friday was the start of the weekend. I came into the venue on a Friday morning and, you know, powered up the computers, the point of sale. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. You know, we had a queue of people outside wanting to come into the venue, and none of our IT systems worked. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know, I'm a pretty tech savvy guy, but I couldn't figure it out. But then Henry pipes up, you know, and he said, "Can I have a look?" I said, "Be my guest. You know, I'm not making any progress here." And within about 5 minutes flat, he sorted out the problem, because he's a Cisco certified network engineer.
No way.
Man. And he's joined us in Dubai, Alain at the time, working for us as a host. And it just shocked me about people's backstories and their skills that we just don't know about. You know, we're in a place that attracts a lot of people from around the world because they're looking for a better life.
Right.
As a Cisco certified network engineer in the Cameroon, which is where Henry's from, he can't support his family.
Right.
So he comes here to support his family. Now, so that was my kind of, you know, he helped me out there for sure. And then over the years, he's risen through the ranks. You know, he's become a team leader, and now he's running one of our biggest venues across the region, which is the Marina Mall one in Abu Dhabi. Chief Operating Officer,
Awesome.
Alan, as well. You know, he's been with Bounce longer than I have. You know, he started in Australia, came over 2014, and he's risen through the ranks as well. They're the types of things that really matter to me. So when I think about success, I think about what mark have I left on people's lives.
Nice.
You know, whether it's people in the business, our tribe, or whether it's customers like Lobner have been 150 times to Dalma Mall. That's what I think is ultimately
And
important.
for you on a personal level, what does that mean? Like, sit down and say, I'm successful, I'm happy, I'm making money, I build a big business, or is it relationships with family? What is it really?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think that changes over time for me.
Exactly.
I think, you know, I'm lucky enough not to have to worry about financial issues. You know, I'm not the type of guy who spends willy-nilly, right? Because I think it's important for me to set the right standard with my children as well, that they have to earn and have to work hard. So I'm not one for material things. I'm quite happy with the basics in life, but I'm lucky to be able to say that.
Yeah.
A lot of people who can't say that, right? So I do feel very grateful that I'm in that position. But I think I guess my priorities change over time, and now I'm probably more. Yeah, the business is going great guns. We're growing. The team is great. But ultimately, I always want to be a better father, better husband, better family man. And I think that's kind of a mark of someone's character. That they want to invest time and effort into that as well. So yeah, sometimes think about that as well. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
you know, I'm thinking back to when I asked you the question, like, how did you do it? And you said, I sold my house. And that's, I'm just thinking, why? Like, how can someone like you do something like that? Is it because you have a safety net? You come from a certain class, like your parents are okay?
Yeah.
You know, does that play a role? Because many people, they don't want to take such big, bold risks or bold moves. Say, you know what, I have an apartment, man. It's worth a few $100,000.
Yeah.
Is it that? Is it your background? Is it because of your family? Or because maybe you've seen your dad do it? Or is it just you? It's just a personality?
That's a really good question. I've never really thought about that. Look, I had a great childhood, you know, good stable family, you know, loving family. You know, my mother's a occupational therapist working in the medical field. My father was working at the local college. He was actually a careers advisor to being a woodwork teacher. So, you know, we were good, you know, and I would never paint my background to be anything other than a happy childhood and, you know, that kind of thing. I'm the first one in the family to go abroad, take that step to go abroad.
You're the oldest?
No, I have a sister who's older.
How many are you?
It's just really small family. My sister Nia lives back in South Wales as well, kind of close to family. And sometimes I'm kind of miss those aspects of being close to family as well. But you know, it's always had a stable childhood. But I'd never describe it as being I could take a risk and I had a fallback. I never thought about that. I never thought about having a fallback. I never thought about that whole, well, if it doesn't work out, then mum and dad are going to bail me out or something like that. It never entered my mind. It was much more about, okay, you just got to figure it out. You got to man up, you know, you got family to support. At the time when I did put all the money into the business and we started the business, my kids, Ella and Barney, were like, Ella was maybe 3 years old. Barney was 1. You know, it's, you know, Rachel, my wife, full-time mum, you know, so it's not as if there was any other incomes to fall back on either. But I never really looked at it as I would take risks like this because I have a fallback with, you know, going back to the UK or something. I never really entered my mind. Maybe subconsciously it did, but no, it was more about I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Really resilient, yeah.
But it's not like your dad was an entrepreneur.
No.
It's not like your dad was earning, you know, a lot of money. You don't come from that family. You come from a middle-class family, just like most people, and you still did it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm asking you this because that's not the case mainly or usually, right? Usually it's like, my dad is a big risk taker, built a big business. I can do it as well.
Yeah.
Or you know what? If it doesn't happen, it's okay. I'm gonna go back home, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've
like you have this energy, like you can do it. You can, like, you're surrounded by that energy. Like you feel that you can do it. It's not the case apparently for you.
No,
your parents told you all the time. Maybe that's the energy. Like you can do everything. You can do anything you want. You had this. You had that childhood. Your parents like made you believe in yourself. And
I think probably with my parents, I think I always valued the fact that they were letting me get on with things. I remember when you know, when you're 18 years old, you decide, you know, university, you know, in your education, you do, in the UK, you do your A-levels, then you have to make a decision, what am I going to study at university? And then where am I going to go for university? And I remember my father's advice was, go somewhere far away from home. You kind of think, well, what are you saying? What are you saying, Nat?
why do you have to go that?
But what he meant was, find your own way. Don't be reliant on coming home every weekend, you know, go to university, immerse yourself in a different city, you know, be with your friends, do your studies, but don't rely on coming back to mum to do washing or whatever it may be. You know, you got to figure it out. That's what he meant. And I think that was the right thing to do for me, because I do respond well to that. Drop me in the deep end. Figure it out. I think that's just my character and how I've been formed over my career and personal life. I think this is me, which I think is it's an important lesson that I kind of wrestle with, how to teach my kids to be resilient.
Right.
I don't think that's easy, because I think resilience is one of the most important characteristics that you can have as an individual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in terms of leading people, what's that one lesson that you learned about leading people? Like, what is that? Like, if you want to, you know, stand on stage and tell these thousands of people in front of you, what is that one thing about leading?
Yeah, I want to avoid to sound like a cliche here, but
yeah, you have to sound like the guru, man.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'd say probably when I was working in the mobile phone business, I was working at HTC for a while, and And, you know, the time I joined HTC, it was a small business. You know, there's 20 people in the Europe, Middle East and Africa organization, you know. It was small. It was pretty intense as well. And I joined to run kind of product management, product marketing, that kind of thing. And then after a couple of years, I had some direct reports. No one teaches you how to manage people, how to lead people. You know, typically you're promoted because you're good at your job and you've got people to manage. It's a completely different kettle of fish. Now, I kind of ladder back to my kind of earlier days in a startup environment where my exposure to leadership and management was tough, hard, you know, really rip people apart. And I thought that was what you did when you were a leader. And nah, you don't do that. You're there to build people up. But I remember my boss at the time, a guy called Phil, I remember him taking me into his office and saying, so Doran, you need to decide what type of leader you want to be. You know, do you want to be an arsehole or do you want to be a good guy? And that stayed with me. It's basically saying you're an arsehole. And that's where I started to appreciate, no, you don't win like that. Don't win like that. And I think that took me a long time to get over, first of all.
Well, you do win as an asshole because there are a lot of asshole leaders.
Yeah,
we know of, right? Like there's some big boys that we follow, and there are you know, big boys that built huge businesses, billionaires that are assholes.
Yeah.
So you could win this way, but you chose not to.
It probably comes down to my values and how I see success, right? But yeah, I think probably the first few years, you know, in Bounce as well, you know, I'm very invested in it. You know, it's my baby. You know, so I think my leadership style there was, you know, very hands-on across all areas of the business, almost at a micro level, some cases. And then probably 2018 decided, okay, can't do this all ourselves. We've got to hire a leadership team now and hire in the expertise. And that was a big change for me as well, where my biggest learning there was, right, if you're going to hire the expertise, what's the point of hiring them in and telling them what to do? You know, you hire in competence, knowledge, experience, expertise. So the biggest advice I'd give to someone and the biggest learning that I have in terms of my leadership style is give people room to breathe. Give people the space to let them get on with doing what you've hired them to do. Okay. You're there to support. You're there to remove barriers if barriers exist. You're there to motivate them.
Barriers between when we know what.
Well, if there's a problem, you know, that's you know, preventing them from, you know, doing something. It could be anything and everything. And typically a lot of the barriers and issues are people issues. You know,
exactly.
That's you know, people are messy fundamentally, so you have to, you know, do a lot to align people and sort people problems out. But fundamentally, give people room to breathe. Let them do their job. That's what you've hired them to do. Let them get on with it. Because the moment I start getting involved is I'm getting into an area of the business that I don't have that same level of skills, experience, and expertise that person has. My power is giving different perspectives. My power is challenging biases. My power is the fact that I am across all areas of the business, so I can actually provide those different angles and perspectives. And certainly with you know, some of the functionaries, I always find the marketing area of the business a fascinating side of the business. I really do. But I find marketing is often an area of the business where we have preconceived ideas, we have biases, we think we know customers best. It's I think as opposed to I know.
Right.
And that's where I kind of find it's my responsibility to identify where someone has a preconceived idea which may not be right. It's a bias that they've already had. My job is to pull that out and challenge it. But yeah, empower them, give people room to breathe, don't micromanage. Yeah, that's probably my key learning, really.
And that's been working.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Look, I'm not perfect. I'll never profess to be perfect. I've got flaws. You know, I have blind spots. I'd say my emotional intelligence is not where it needs to be. But then I rely on other people who I know are very attuned to reading a room to tell me, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, and that's a power of the team. But yeah, I think generally it works. You know, people feel valued when you give them responsibility. Yeah.
What do you do in cases where you cannot give raises or you cannot give bonuses? And especially how many people do you have at Bounce?
Total in the business now is probably about 370, 380.
All right.
Yeah.
So 300-400 people. And that's, you know,
It's a decent size.
decent size organization. And you always have these people that nag and complain and try to drag other people down and, you know, say bad things about management and like, we're not, there's always this group of people. So how do you communicate often with to everybody that this is where we're going, this is the current situation?
Yeah.
Like if you cannot give raises for a year or two or bonuses for a year or two, that obviously affects people because they're expecting, most people expect a small raise every 1 or 2 years. How do you deal with that? How do you keep that motivation high?
Yeah, I think the I'm a real flag waver for business culture in the organization, and making sure that we've got an environment at work that is a family feel. So, and I don't want to sound like a cliche here, but I'll give you some examples of how I do that. So, you know, something as simple as not having an office. You know, we're all open plan. You know, music playing in the office. You know, it's not uncommon that you know, we'll all eat together and have a biryani together. I've got a biryani T-shirt. I'm famous in the business for loving biryani, and every so often we'll order a load and eat it all together. You know, just coming together like that.
Yeah.
You know, we have a very specific set of values. You know, accountability is one. So making sure everyone knows that they're there to make decisions and take actions. People knowing that if they do make a mistake, that they're not going to get screamed and shouted at if they are doing it with the right intent. But you know, having a culture, a strong culture in the business kind of solves a lot of downstream things as well. And I think one of the biggest, or one of the most positive decisions I made for the business about 4 years ago was in line with when the Dubai government announced a 4.5-day working week. You remember though, a few years ago now. And that's when I decided that we would adopt the same approach across our business as well. You know, we didn't have to. You know, with private sector, we don't have to. But I felt very strongly that certainly in the venues, the guys and girls in the venues, it's quite an intensive job. You know, physically it's demanding, right? But you know, typically in retail and entertainment, they work 6 days a week, have 1 day off. Can you imagine just having 1 day off? You know, you do your laundry, you buy your groceries, you do chores, and then it's back to work the next day. Nah.
Right.
I was in the central office having 2 days off a week. Now, that didn't sit right with me. So once Dubai government made that announcement, it got me thinking, actually, we should be treating everyone the same. So now everyone in the business is working the same hours. Everyone in venues get 2 days off in a row. You know, we work a 4.5-day working week in the office as well. So, and that really adds to the culture that, you know, we're there for the team. You know, the team trust us. Now, investing in the culture means that those conversations that invariably come around salaries and bonuses are much more easy to have. I mean, there's always some awkwardness around it, but you know, the place that you work at is not all about the compensation and benefits. It's about your line manager, it's about the CEO, it's about the boss, it's around the company culture, it's around the office environment, working hours. So I think when you add everything together, we're a pretty good place to work. We're not fantastic. And, having very defined processes when it does come to talk about salaries and bonuses, clear KPIs, clear measures, takes the emotion out of it as well. So yeah, it's never an easy thing to go through, but I think if you focus on all the other aspects and the intangibles in the business to make it the most comfortable place to work as possible, then
you've done your
easier.
Then it'll be easier.
Kind of feel like I was avoiding the conversation, avoiding the answer there, but we're like every other business. We have those challenges. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And how often do you do any monthly meeting with everybody? Like you're calling everybody on a Zoom call or?
Yeah, we have a kind of we have a great event every year. Every year
Event?
we have a big party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get everyone together. Everyone in the UAE, as example, would get into a bar, nightclub, whatever, and it's just, let's just, recognize a few people, have a few drinks and some food and just dance around, have a good time.
How do you recognize?
I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, we, lots of awards.
Like the employee of the month and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of thing, but we kind of make it a little bit quirkier, like Peacock of the Year award, the person who shows off the most is what it's that. Okay. People who are, delivering, the mission, the Bounce mission, and inspiring progression and bringing the love, we recognize that. And, we do individual rewards that can be vouchers, cash, experiences, flights home, or what also works well is make them team rewards as well, because it just gets people working together quite nicely. And we do those awards in our kind of annual party, and then, it's just a good excuse to kick back and have a few drinks and dance around. It's amazing. It's amazing. And that's what I really love. Always people together, and it's just, just really, really great energy. But we do things like, every week leadership team, we get together.
Yeah.
Every Monday religiously. Every Monday we spend an hour together at least. We just updating each other on status of the business. We take some decisions if we need to. Then we have our kind of business review meetings, which is more around the kind of financial KPIs every month. Board meetings every quarter. We're not unlike any other business there, but I think we do it pretty well. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. I have a couple of questions on customer experience. How do you turn a first-time visitor into a loyal customer?
That's the secret sauce, right?
Can you please share it?
That is a secret sauce. Yeah. I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record here. People come to Bounce and Mini Bounce for a number of reasons, but I know the most important reason why they come, and that's because of the team that we have there.
100%, yes. I've been many times because of my kids, and I've been to other brands.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say that you're right about that.
Yeah, it's
amazing team, man. Amazing people.
Yeah, that makes me feel good as well.
No, really, like really cool people, helpful. You want to
be around them, right?
Right. And like, I feel good to drop the kids. I feel like, they're nice people, right?
Yeah.
They want to take care of the kids, and they want to make the kids feel great, and they want to teach them, and they want to have there. You don't see this everywhere in all these places.
No, you don't. No, we hire people to host people, don't hire people to police people. And so I think that, for me, the reason why Bounce is so special is because we hire the right people, and we hire them for personalities. I don't read any CVs. Don't know anyone in the business that reads any CVs for any of the venue functions. We hire people because
but just to be clear, not maybe for these functions.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for central functions. Yeah. Look,
okay.
For our accountants. Yeah.
All right. Exactly. So that's like you're that guy that whatever, like nice guy, come run the finance.
No, not at all. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. But at the venue level, you want someone that you feel comfortable to speak to, someone you can relate to, someone you can have a laugh with. We have a formula that helps us identify that. And then, all of the guys and girls, we call our tribe, by the way. All of our tribe are very clear on what it takes to deliver a good customer experience, and we codify it. And, we bring the love. This is what it is. So our code is we bring the love and we inspire progression to grow the tribe.
Bring the love or the laugh?
The love.
The love.
The love.
So again, bring the love
and inspire progression to grow the tribe. So what I mean there is
that internal or external? Is that towards your?
You'll see it on the wall in some of our venues actually.
So the venues to the people. So that's external.
Yeah.
That's between you and your customers.
We talk about that, and bring the love. I kind of describe it as, whenever I talk about how I want our tribe to host, interact, welcome our customers, it's to treat our customers like they're friends they haven't met yet. None of this sir, ma'am, other stuff. Nah. That I have a problem with the master servant style of customer service. That's absolutely.
How would I apply this to my agency, to a B2B agency?
Starts with you. Starts with you. You gotta live by it. You gotta show them the way. Back in 2014, 2015, I was hosting birthday parties. I had a group of 20, 12-year-old boys that I was hosting around the venue with a birthday party. So, rolling up sleeves and seeing is believing. You've got to lead by example there.
Yeah.
I don't have an office. If anyone calls me sir, which happens, I say straight away, I'm not your granddad. You don't need to call me sir. But I recognize culturally that some cultures, they will put me on a pedestal because of my age and my seniority, but I don't go for that at all. I mean, look at me. This is me. So bring the love is treating our customers like friends they haven't met before, and then inspiring progression is about taking people out of their comfort zone, try something new. You want to learn how to do a flip? No, we'll teach you.
Yeah,
that feels good. And if you do those two elements right, the tribe grows. That's your customers, your employees. That's how we kind of codify things, and anyone in the business will know that formula. They know how to affect that formula, and that's what makes us special. But just because we have a formula doesn't make it easy to deliver, right? You've got to keep going. You've got to keep plugging away at it. It's a day in, day out kind of focus. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the parking challenge? Man, I hate going to these, not only to Bounce, to all these places. I like, where I go? Trampo Extreme. In the mall, because I always find parking. And Bounce,
parking. Yeah.
Especially in the summer, man, there's no way for me to go and park.
Yeah, Alcos is a bit of a challenge and during the week, the traffic there.
Oh, where's another place where there's a good parking?
Festival City?
Yeah, Festival City is on
outside. Up there. Yeah, there's always parking there. But yeah, Dubai's getting busier, right?
How do your parents and the customers that come, because you have how many people coming every single day on a Saturday?
Oh, geez.
Like a few hundred.
Oh,
and Al-Quoz, few thousand probably.
Yeah. Festival City, a couple of thousand at least. Yeah.
So Al-Quoz, you have few hundred cars, couple of hundred cars dropping kids every single day, every Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Where do they park, these people?
On the weekend, it's a different story. We're in Al-Quoz, right, which is the industrial area. So it tends to be more of a Monday to Friday thing. So, Saturday and Sunday, it's relatively quiet down those roads there. So it's certainly a lot easier to find parking spaces there. If I could increase the car park size, I would definitely.
Of course.
Would definitely.
You have like a valet
convenience factor around it. Yeah, no, these things always go through my mind. The locations where we're based in the shopping mall is, it's not a problem. It's the ones where we're not, that has a bit of a unique characteristic to it. But, not something that we've ever found to be, just a showstopper for us.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
but many people don't come, right?
Day weekend. Yeah, it could work.
Yeah, and you don't know about it. But actually, did you ever run a survey for that? You don't come on a weekend because of parking or something?
We know. So with some of our programs,
Yeah.
so we have kind of coaching programs. We know that with some of our coaching programs, we've had to change the program's timings to open earlier on a weekend because our customers prefer that because it's just a lot quieter on the roads. It's generally there. So yeah, we do adapt.
What's the coaching program for who? For kids who want to learn how to bounce?
Anyone.
Anyone.
You can come and do it as well.
Right.
Teach you how to run the wall. Yeah, we got it speaks to the inspiring progression piece. So we have our Bounce Freestyle Academy program where there are multiple facets and levels to it. So, for the little dots, the little kids, we have tiny tumblers, which is, kind of basic movements. It's also teaching kids to play with each other, which when you're a toddler, it's basically your world, right? You don't really look left or right. And then we have, and this goes up in age group now, we have Bounce Squad, where it's a bit more about kind of trampoline skills and basics and a bit of kind of social side of things as well, to Flight Squad, where you're starting to, nail front flips, double fronts, and that kind of thing. And then we also have Ninja Squad, which is for your kind of parkour crowd, where it's a bit of both, some on the trampoline, some on the floor, teaching the fundamentals of free running and parkour there.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been a pretty successful program for us as well. And we've got some Olympians coming to town next month. Yeah. So we bring in who we think are pretty inspirational characters into the region. So we have some of the Spanish national trampoline team coming across. I think there's a Colombian athlete, New Zealand athlete as well. And, we do master classes with our kind of champion customers, school trips and things like that. So, yeah, we're always looking to try different things.
Right.
And this kind of works quite well for
Nice.
us. So, yeah. So we'll book you in. We'll get you a master class. Get you on the mats.
Not now, but yeah, later. I'm still recovering from my ankle injury. I have my brace there. So when it's healed, for sure. And I injured myself, man, at the trampoline. I was 1 year I didn't do anything. I was doing Pilates at home for 1 year.
Oh, really?
I had a slipped disc.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I landed on my neck instead of on my back.
You okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took my kids to to one of the indoor parks. Street Maniacs, I think it's called.
Yeah, okay.
So I jumped from a place on an airbag, is it called an airbag, right?
Yeah.
From a high, jumping backwards, and I didn't land on my back. First time I do it.
Yeah.
Stupid. Land on my neck.
Oh, jeez.
So,
It's scary, eh?
man, I heard it. So it took 1 year recovery.
But you're back in
And
action.
luckily, man, the doctor said it's a miracle. It went fully back in after 1 year of MRI.
Okay.
And basically, I read the best remedy for this, the best thing to do is basically just Pilates at home.
Pilates.
Not the reformer Pilates, of course, just Pilates, 20 minutes. I was watching the same video for 1 year. And be careful not to be pushed, not to carry anything behind, on top of your head and whatever. So
I hear good things about Pilates. A lot of rugby players doing that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's that kind of...
Rugby players doing Pilates.
I know, it just sounds weird. That sounds weird. But yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. What if our wife does it? She qualified as a instructor as well.
Pilates instructor?
Yeah.
Reformer or
No, I don't. Not the reformer side. The
mat.
Do you call it standard?
I think it's called mat Pilates.
Yeah.
How do you teach your team to care about the customer? Regular trainings?
Yeah, we do all that stuff. I think well, I wouldn't hire them if they didn't care about the customer. For a start, we tease that out pretty early on. So
character.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be a people person. If you're not a people person and you arrive at our interview and you're just there, stiff and kind of cold and non-communicative, you're not going to get a job. It's just not going to happen. So the personality kind of teases it out, and the hiring process teases it out. And I think also alignment as well. So everyone in the business has targets and KPIs. And, you know, one of those kind of key targets, which for me is one of the most important targets, is our Net Promoter Score. And so every single venue manager, team leader, all the hosts as well, they know exactly what their target is. In their
different targets for different venues.
It's the same. It's the same.
And some venues have better NPS score.
Always. Some venues have better than others.
Why do you think like that's not for you, but in general? Because, right, like you have a big organization and it's growing. And how do you ensure that every venue delivers, you know, are the results similar, or some results are completely different?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, there can be a bit of a pattern. So when we launch a new venue, as an example, sometimes we can see a little bit of a decline in our Net Promoter Score. And that tends to be because we can get some negativity around things like, I have to, you know, our ticketing is on the hour every hour. So if someone turns up at half past an hour, it's, well, why do I have to wait for half an hour for me to be able to jump or whatever? And that can be a source of dissatisfaction. But over time, it starts to become accepted and normal.
Yeah, people will start knowing it.
Yeah, that's right. Not to kind of underplay that it's an area of dissatisfaction, but it just becomes kind of normal. I think just generally service levels can vary across venues because so much of it is down to the individual. You know, sometimes we get, you know, negative comments around the venue's busy. So what do you do about that, right? It's great that it's busy.
Or parking.
Generating cash to pay people's salaries, right? And or parking. Yeah, absolutely. But what we do with our reviews is perhaps more important. So the venues have targets. They're incentivized, you know, whether it's that individual kind of bonus or team bonus, you know, we kind of use that interchangeably. There is a screen in every single venue that has the live feed of customer satisfaction scores. I have that in the head office as well. It's very visible across the organization.
In each venue, it shows theirs compared to others?
It's theirs. It's theirs.
Only theirs.
But there is a daily report that comes out that has everyone's, so they can compare.
That's good.
But then also every single negative review that comes in, all our venue managers have to, and this is measured, they have to call that customer. Okay, understand what it was, invite them back, try and win them. Win them over.
The negative, is it, how do you measure it, below a certain score?
Yeah, so it typically is the kind of detractor element. So, you know, every single customer that comes to the venue, they get a survey. And there's one question is, would you recommend Bounce as a place to come for friends and family? You know, 0 to 10. And so 9 and 10, you're a promoter. 7, 8, you're a passive. 0 to 6, you're a detractor. And so on that live board, we have all of the scores on there, 0 to 10. Anyone between a 0 and a 6 is a detractor. And then our venue managers have to call all of those customers personally to understand what the problem was. Why did we get such a low score? Remedy or rectify it and invite them back for another.
Where do they put that? So the manager puts it in a CRM?
Yeah, we've got a CRM. Okay. Everything links into our CRM. So everything funnels into a kind of central kind of data warehouse.
So they log that activity.
Yeah, and we know a lot about the customers. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of data about our customers. So, you know, in our database, we've got nearly 900,000 people in our database. a lot of data points there, and I put a lot of value on Net Promoter Score because, like I said, I think that's the long game.
Absolutely.
If you see that trending down, you do something about it. Double quick, because if we're not offering the right experience to our customers, then they're not going to come back. It's not going to come back. You got to earn that.
Love it. Yeah. You're giving me some ideas for my business as well.
Yeah.
Makes sense, man. And how do you make decision when there's no clear right answer? When you don't have enough data and it's a big decision to make?
Yeah. Yes, that kind of gut feel, isn't it? it's I often think we have the opposite problem at the moment. I think we have too much data. I think we have a big data problem. There's so many different data points, so many different metrics, so many different ways to slice and dice your data. I mean, just look at, what do you call it now? Google Analytics, GA4.
GA4, yeah.
I mean, the amount of data that you bubble up from, Meta's ads manager or Google backend. It's like, what do you look at? Right? It's complicated. We have that challenge across the board. So, I always remember at university when I did a statistics module, and our lecturer talking about how to lie with statistics. That's a very real challenge. You can support an argument by being very selective on the data that you look at. So I think our challenge is, what data points do we actually look at that really does contribute to success of the business? That's one aspect. But when it comes to my own decision making, if there's, lack of data points, or if it's a bit kind of grey, well, firstly, I always consult, with the team. So if it's a new venue location, an example, I take advice from the team. I'll speak to other people in the industry, get their perspectives on it as well. And then once I have a kind of, perhaps a bit more than just a gut feeling, then it'll be yes. I'm not the type of guy who actually has to have everything aligned and in a row, because that rarely happens. But go for it. But I think over the years, you kind of get a bit of a gut feel to a lot of things that make an impact on the business. So I think it's probably almost the opposite now. There's too much data that we have. It's like, blows your mind. It's like, what do you look at?
Yeah, I was thinking more like, so that's of course, because when you have data, it's good. But when sometimes like, hey, what if a client, for example, is abusive? Like, what do you do with this? Or what if an employee does the same mistake over and over again? So, and you don't have systems for it, maybe. Or you don't have enough data to prove it. Like, how do you deal with such situations? And I think I got the answer. Like, you consult, and you take the opinion of the people that you work with, and you take a
I mean, especially when it comes to people, right? I'm the CEO. There's my levels of interaction are with kind of leadership team primarily. I mean, I love spending time in the venues, but I just can't. So, I trust and rely on leadership team and line managers to make the right call. I mean, you have to do that. No two ways about it. But decision making is not something that's a laborious, long process in the business. We're good.
Yeah, you gotta move fast.
We're nimble. Yeah, we're on the ball. These Monday leadership team meetings, we are very comfortable to make quick decisions around that, because we're back ourselves.
Meeting.
So the entire leadership team, so finance, marketing, business development, which is new venues, projects, operations, IT and systems, and our first agenda item is people and culture. That's always the first thing we talk about. So how's the tribe doing? But
and like venue managers as well join or not?
No, not in the leadership team. We every couple of months we'll bring all the venue managers together for a couple of days so they can probably work together and interact, and we kind of share.
Who do they report to? The managers?
All to Alan, our Chief Operating Officer.
Chief Operating Officer. Got it. Okay. The Chief Operating Officer is part of the senior team.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. He's a force. So he's the guy that's been with Bounce longer than I have. Started
become
Australian.
The Australian guy. Okay.
Yeah. He's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah.
Do you put a lot of hours at work?
I'd say I'm more balanced now. And you just go through a journey, right? I'm sure you did. With the agency, right? The first few months, years, first few months was 7 days a week. There was no two ways about it. It was just, open till close, 7 days a week. And then it kind of starts to evolve into something else, but it was 6 days a week for a good few years. And then now, I'm much better at managing my time now. You know.
So like you work 5 days a week?
Yeah, I do tend to. You know, I keep an eye on things.
Of course.
Around the clock, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't feel the need like I used to, because I used to have a feeling of if I wasn't in the office, I'd feel bad.
People are gonna work. Oh no, you feel bad.
Feel
I love
bad.
it, yeah.
I think one of my
Yeah.
weaknesses is that I'm quite self-critical to myself. So
Same.
so if I'm not in the office,
Yeah.
I think, oh shit, I should be in the office. I should be.
Of course.
And that's not a healthy thing. I'm pretty sure.
But that's why we
Being
made
active has helped me in that.
that's what pushed you as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
To get to where you are today.
I'm sure it did. Yeah. So now I get a lot more balanced, and I think I also want to, you know, demonstrate the way I want people to work as well. So yeah, you need your downtime. You got to have your downtime. You can't work 7 days a week, 6 days a week forever.
What's your downtime? Like family, time with family, or time with friends?
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Absolutely. So time with family. I train a lot as well. I keep myself really active. So I do triathlons.
Really?
Yeah, I love that. I find that's a real kind of zen time for me. It's when I'm on the bike for 3 hours or whatever. I love that. I think it's my reset time. It gives me clarity. Been doing that for a few years now, and I find that really to be beneficial for me. Just to just reset your brain. But then, yeah, I probably need to balance kind of family time a bit better, because with work, then doing endurance stuff is, you're training 10, 11 hours a week, right? And fitting the family around it. It should be the other way around, right? It should be fitting your work and your sports activities around the family. Ultimately that's where I see it. But yeah, no, I think I've got balance.
Not
better.
But it seems like you're not very happy with that balance.
Yeah, I always think, because I think,
are you gonna regret that decision one day, you think? That you haven't spent more time with the family?
Certainly in the early days yeah, I did feel quite guilty, because
no, I meant now. Are you gonna feel bad now?
No, I think
this way now.
I think I'm a lot better now than I was. I know that, because what people don't understand, you probably relate to this. People don't understand is, just because you set up a new business, you're not the only one that making sacrifices here. Your family are making sacrifices as well.
100%, yeah.
And it's serious, right? I never really appreciated that. I was very much, I'm head down 7 days a week, 6 days a week, without a thought. In my mind, I was doing it for the right reasons. I'm doing it because I want to secure a good future for my family and my kids. You always want your kids to have a better life than you have.
Yeah.
But what you don't, I think I fail to realize sometimes is, your kids don't care about that. Your wife doesn't care about that. They care about you
spending time with you.
Yeah, yeah. And so I've got that balance better now.
But not yet to.
I can do it better.
Yeah,
I can be better.
You're waiting for them to grow old so they can cycle with you.
I would love that. Actually, the kids do triathlons with me.
Okay.
Rachel's done a couple of kind of the duathlon things, and I love that. I love that. I think that's right.
I go to the gym, so my kids go to the gym 4:30, and so either both of them, they start at 4:30, or one at 4:30, one at 5:20. So they usually from 4:30 to 6:30, these 2 hours at the gym.
Yeah.
So I spend these 2 hours there at the gym with them.
Yeah.
So I spend more time with them.
It's nice though, right?
It works. Hopefully it will continue this way, because I'm separated as well. So so they spend most of the time with the mom. But we live two buildings.
So you really value the time with them.
So I want to drop them every day in the morning to school, because I want to see them. Right? They sleep most of the time with their mom. So, and I know like we can do more, all of us. Right. But like there's a selfish part as well. Like it's important for you to do your triathlon, because when you're doing it, you're more content.
It's my de-stress.
and you're more, right? You're happier, you're more fulfilled, you're more excited about life, and that energy is gonna be translated into, to the people you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're struggling with this, then the energy is gonna be different towards them. So it's
Yeah.
good to take to be selfish as well.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it comes back to just that, what's ingrained in me is that whole, always wanting to be better, self-critical, that type of thing. That's probably what kind of it resonates throughout my personality and throughout my career. I sound like a negative Nelly here.
No, you don't.
I don't intend to be. I think
It's true, man.
a lot to be thankful for.
I fully agree. Someone once told me, it's important that you overflow first. Get to the highest level of your happiness, start overflowing, and then help people and excite people and be there for people. Because he said, when you're not happy with yourself, with who you are, you're not gonna give the right energy to others. So even though you're helping them, but you're not happy as a person,
Yeah.
you're not fulfilled as a person, and that is going to be translated in some sort of energy to them.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
So, and I know it's a balance, because you don't want to be only focusing about yourself and only you overflowing all the time, or you trying to get to that place, and maybe you never get to that place, and you're basically not spending time, or you're not giving that energy to
Or you may get there and you're on your own.
Right.
There's no one else with you. Yeah. Yeah.
And I always say the same thing, man. We haven't done that thing 1,000 times to know what's better, right? Like, you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I'm figuring it out. Like, we think we're doing our best, and that's it.
I think you're right. And I think you've always got to be humble, right? I don't know. You see nowadays. I mean, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I kind of look at LinkedIn now and read people's. I'm not saying for everyone, but read people's profiles and what they declare publicly on LinkedIn. I think, is this guy? Is anything? I know this guy is anything but what he says. So I think you've got to be open. You've got to be humble, relatively down to earth with how you see the world and how you communicate, how you portray yourself. Because what do they call it? Keeping it real. You got to keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real. Yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose to pretend to be someone that you're not. And I like to think that I'm what you see is what you get.
Awesome, man. What do you want people to remember about you?
Yeah.
Including your family?
Yeah. This is a hard question to answer. I think when I think about family, I want them to remember me as always someone who was there for them. Up when they're down, celebrate when they're doing something great, but always they're present, and not just sitting next to them, really present. You're involved, you're absorbed in what they're doing. I think that's important. That's important.
Do you talk to them about this? Did you ask them if you're there for them enough?
Yeah, probably not.
Me neither. I'm gonna do it
as much as I should.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna answer that question.
Yeah, it'll probably be quiet. Yeah, I wonder whether I'll be worried about the response, right? But you got to hear it, right? Yeah, it's good provocation there. Yeah. I think for business, I think I like to leave memories with people. What I love is I just joined Fit Republic up in Sports City. They have a swimming pool there. And I was there a couple of weeks back and bumped into one of the swim coaches there, a lady called Meher. She used to work for us back in 2015, in the Alcos venue. It's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. And what I loved about that is that, there was no awkwardness, it's like seeing a friend again.
Yeah.
Because Meher was famous for me because she used to come into the office every single day and she'd go, "Hello, beautiful people."
Yeah.
She's just an amazing character. And then seeing her again just brought back those memories. And she was talking about how some of her fondest memories were at Bounce. And I think, that's what I want to be remembered by, just leaving an impression on people, leaving good memories.
Right.
You know, it's like when you learn to ride a bike. You remember when you learn to ride a bike. I want bounce to be the equivalent memory of when you learn to ride a bike. You know, something good happened there. Yeah. Yeah. Bit fluffy, I know, but I guess that's where how I think about it.
Yeah, man. Everything is positive, it seems.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I count myself as fortunate for sure.
Right.
Yeah, but then, you know, it's take a lot of hard work and sleepless nights and yeah.
We have to wrap up. I know I took more time. What's next for you? Not as a business person, but just as a person.
Yeah. I'm the type of guy, you know, when I do something or when I put my mind to something, I can be quite obsessive with it. I think largely why I've been
Right.
yeah, why I am where I am at the moment, and you know, with the triathlon stuff as well. You know, I go all in. There's no halfway point for me. I don't know what that next thing is for me. You know, for business, yeah, I could reel that off, but personally, you know, the next stage of my kind of personal life is I still want to be fit and active. I still want to be doing what I'm doing there. My kids are going to be growing up and going to university at some point. I want to have, how do I describe this? I think one of my fondest memories of growing up when I was kind of 18, 19 was putting a backpack on and going around the world. I did that in Thailand. I did that Australia, Costa Rica, you know, just kind of rite of passage when I was younger. I'd love to do that again. I'd love to do that again. When? No idea.
Right.
But I'd love to do that again. So, you know, kind of me and Rach put the backpacks on and just
Yeah, she's up for it as
fly
well.
around the world. I don't know. I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't ask her yet?
Yeah. I think she would be. You know, that's when kids have kind of left home and they're settled and doing their own thing. Then yeah, we can go and have some more adventures.
Good for you.
Stuff. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? What about you? What do you think about?
It's about you now. This session is about you. I'll tell you when we switch out the cameras.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I say every day, let me be the link to help as many people as I can become their best and achieve their dreams.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for years, every morning and every night.
Yeah.
So probably something there, you know, helping people. I do help people, but I'll do it at a larger scale. Now I'm obsessed with building, you know, a very successful big business. So one day I look back and say, you know, fuck, I did it, man.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to do that. That's the priority now. That's the only thing I'm obsessed about.
Yeah.
And I know at some point I'm gonna be like, okay, nice. Let me now consult, help CEOs, etc. But
Yeah.
but not only business.
Mm.
So yeah. Anything I didn't ask you that would add value to the listeners and viewers, and to me?
I think there's one. I think there's one question that you know, around what advice would you give to younger people who are choosing to go out and their own pathway now? You know, maybe they're thinking about setting up a business or they're just entering the world of work. You know, because I think the challenges for young people now are just radically different to the challenges that we faced when we were kind of finding our way, early stage career. You know, I think about, you know, effects of social media on attention span and forming polarized views. It's a tough world out there. You know, when we were growing up and younger, you know, we could go to parties without having to worry about someone having a camera on their phone and, you know, recording that forevermore, and you know what that would mean potentially in their social circles and things like that. That for me is a kind of, I guess, something I think about for my kids and their future. Because people ask me around, what advice would you give me when I'm starting out my career and starting up a new business? And that is, there's no shortcuts. No shortcuts. What you're seeing in this kind of hyper kind of sanitized world of Snapchat and TikTok is just people who are pretending to be things that perhaps they're not. Or you're seeing the 0.001%. You're seeing material items. But life's not like that. There's no shortcuts. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to work your way up. And it's not a case of, I'm in a job for a year, I need a promotion. In that. Efforts, reward follows efforts. Reward follows results. So there's no shortcuts. You got to work hard. You got to be resilient. You got to put the hours in. Then the rewards will follow. So that's probably the, if there's any youngsters watching this, that's the advice I'd give them is forget all of that 30-minute TikTok short of, hey, look at me, I started a business and here's my Bugatti.
Right.
It doesn't happen. You gotta work hard, no shortcuts, put the hours in, the grind. Then it will come to you. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you wonder like how these kids as well made it so big in no time. And these are the exceptions. These are
Absolutely.
maybe they're born in a certain circle. Maybe they're exposed to different things that most of us are not. The 99.9%, 99.9% are not. If you're born in a certain circle, certain environment, if you have a certain character, maybe. But most of us not.
Yeah.
So yes, you gotta work hard, and yes, you have to be a good person, and yes, you have to be persistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think those lessons are, that I don't see them being taught enough to youngsters, and I think that's a shame. It needs to kind of hit home, and I guess the traditional notion of education, needs a bit of an oil change, really, especially now with technology going in the direction that it's going. Resilience, determination.
100%.
Yeah.
I interviewed the founder of Blooming Box, one of the fastest growing e-commerce here in the region, and he said hunger. It's all about hunger, and that's what I talk about all the time on my social. You gotta be hungry.
Yeah.
You're hungry for success and for growth, and I'm hungry for success and for growth. Now, something very important I feel is that we're surrounded by people that don't want to make it big in life in any area. They want to be average. It's okay to earn only that much, to live in an okay house and drive an okay car and go on a holiday once or twice a year. So we are only surrounded by these people, not by the small percentage, the 0.1% or 0.2%. These people, they don't hang out. They're busy figuring out things.
Yeah.
So you end up surrounding yourself with the people that are average. They don't push themselves. So it's very difficult for you to get out of that energy to stand out. So I think that's where the focus needs to be. So yes, have the hunger. And if you have the hunger, you need to see that most people, they're going to tell you, no, it's okay. My mom, you don't need to, push yourself so hard at the gym and you always get injured. You always have these people telling you, you don't need to push yourself more, whether they want to do it for because they love you, or for them to feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, why triathlon, man? Doesn't it come with a lot of injuries? Like, you know what I mean? Like, always these people around you, they're going to tell you,
not the easiest sport to do.
It's hard and you don't need to do it. No, don't sell your house and invest in a business. That's what most people, they're going to tell you because they will not do it. So I think it's important to step out of this energy. And I've realized this, early on, luckily, and I found the answer, man. You gotta, these people are not there. So surround yourself with these people online. Follow these people online. Follow these motivational speakers and the people that made it big. Yeah. And read their bios and follow their blogs and follow their YouTube channels. Get that energy instead of hanging out with these people offline that drag you down or, don't add value to you.
Wise words. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm buying to that.
For being here. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you. Enjoyed
Pleasure meeting you, man.
Enjoyed it. A nice comfy seat as well.
They're comfy, right? Yeah. You have the pillow behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
No, it's great. Congrats. All this. I mean,
Thanks, man.
fantastic. Hopefully there's some lessons there for
A lot of
people
lessons,
watching.
man.
And yeah,
Well done.
I'll always believe in giving back a bit.
100%.
So
And you have the right energy.
thank you.
Oh, that's great, man. Good. All the best.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.